Hey, what's going on, people? Hope you guys are doing good. Today, we're taking a look at my new ride, the Yadea KS5, and it's fun. Before we get started, I just want to do a quick shameless plug here. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure to do so. I've been posting a lot of Instagram reels and unboxing specific to Instagram, and it's kind of fun. I've been having a good time over there. So if you want to show support to me, do me a favor, head over there and give me a follow. Today, we're focusing on the KS5, which is one of their electric kick scooters, and it comes in various colors. It requires very little assembly when it arrives. All you need to do is connect the cable on the handlebar to the cable inside of the stem, insert the handlebar set into the folding head tube while keeping the brake facing front, then tighten down the 6 bolts using a hex wrench. Everything you need to do this is included inside the box. The design of the KS5 is very similar to other electric scooters on the market. It has an aluminum frame with a few plastic pieces here and there, including around the handlebars. The deck is just 18 inches long and 6.7 inches wide. Since it's made of rubber, it provides an anti-slip factor and adds to the durability overall. The KS5 can easily be folded down by unlocking the latch on the lower front portion of the stem and then folding it. There's a hook on the back wheel that attaches to the latch on the handlebars to keep it secure when transporting or lifting. Speaking of transporting, the KS5 is fairly easy to carry or store. When unfolded, it's 44.7 inches long and 19.1 inches wide and 47.2 inches tall. In the folded position, it's the same length and width, but the height drops to 22.6 inches and it weighs around 41 pounds. There's a kickstand located on the right-hand side for propping the KS5 up when not in use. The charging port is located on the left-hand side and has a small cover over it. The KS5 features fast charging, and Yadea states it's able to fully charge in roughly 5.5 hours. I found this claim to be spot on. This is great considering the battery size is quite large, coming in at 36 volts or 10.4 amp hours. The button on my unit seems to be a little bit stiff, and based off of the other reviews I've seen, this seems to be a common issue. It's not terrible, it just requires a little bit more force than normal, and it's only an issue if you're riding the scooter and you're trying to cycle between metrics or toggle on and off the headlights. The LED display gets pretty bright and can be viewed in most scenarios, but being that I live in Florida, it gets really bright here, and there are some days where I can't make out the display as easy as others. So I do think it could be a little bit brighter. So the KS5 provides a smooth and stable ride, and on top of that, it can actually go up to 18 miles an hour, which makes it quite fast. And I gotta say, it is a lot of fun to ride. The stability and the smoothness is in part due to the front shock absorber, which has a maximum compression travel of 0.98 inches, combined with the shock absorbing properties of the 10-inch solid tires. Additionally, the KS5 features a triple brake system, which makes sudden stops relatively easy. When combined with the 4 night reflectors, front headlight, always on tail light, and automatic flashing brake light, it's apparent Yadea put a lot of time and attention into the safety features on the KS5. When it comes to the different modes, when in eco mode, which is the little green person, it can go up to 3.7 miles per hour or 5.9 kilometers per hour. When in D mode, which is like a blue D, it bumps up to 13 miles per hour or 21 kilometers per hour. And when in S mode, which is a red S, it averages 18 miles per hour and 29 kilometers per hour, which is quite fast. Even when going the max speed, I found the ride to be very smooth and extremely comfortable with minor vibrations in the deck or handlebars. The KS5 is quite powerful. The motor has a max power of 500 watts with 350 watts rated power. It's capable of climbing hills up to 12 degrees and on average has a battery life of around 25 miles. Of course, battery life is going to come down to a lot of different variables. It's going to come down to how hot it is outside. It's going to come down to the weight or payload that is on the scooter. And of course, the terrain. If you're in an area that has a lot of hills, it's going to have to work a lot harder. Based on my area, I was seeing between 15 to 18 miles for range. Regenerative braking definitely helps. And if you're going to be traveling in areas with a lot of downward slopes and taking advantage of the brakes, you very well could see that 25-mile range or even exceed it. For people looking for even more power, Yadea does make a Pro variant to the KS5. It reaches a top speed of 21.8 miles per hour and it has more range at 37 miles. The motor is also stronger with 700 watts max power and 500 watts rated power, which makes it able to climb hills up to 12.8 degrees, which is slightly better than the 12 degrees of the KS5. It's a little bit different than riding an electric bike or an electric skateboard, mostly because if I let go with one hand, I lose control. It's not a big deal, it's just something that I'm still getting used to. So one thing I noticed about the KS5 scooter is how quiet these motors are. It's insanely quiet, especially compared to like my boosted board or my Ride Out e-bike. Let me just show you. So this is at full speed and you can still hear me perfect. Like that is so quiet. It's kind of crazy. The one thing I like about my Yadea scooter versus my e-bike is the fact that if I'm out and about and the battery dies on my scooter, I can fold it down, call an Uber, they can come and pick me up, and I can just toss this in a car, truck, SUV, or even a van. Versus the bike, which pretty much just needs a truck or something big like a large size SUV to put it in. In fact, the Yadea scooter is super easy to travel with. You can toss it in even a small car just by folding it down and throwing it in the trunk, especially if the back seats are able to be folded down. I think this is perfect for someone that lives in a city and needs to travel to and from work where it's very congested if you travel by car. If you have a short commute to and from work or just around your town, you're gonna love this, so small towns. Or if you're a student and you need something to get to and from school, this is perfect depending on how far away from the school you are. Or if you're just someone that wants to have some fun on the weekends, I think you're going to love this thing. It has an IP54 rating, so it's splash resistant. You can drive it through small puddles and maybe a light shower, but I definitely would not drive this thing through heavy rain intentionally or through deep puddles. The app requires you to scan a QR code to connect the scooter, and one would think that the QR code is located on the scooter itself, considering there is one. Well, that's not the case. Instead, it's located inside of the manual on page 10, so it's very important not to throw away or lose the manual. Once connected, the app allows you to turn on imperial units and cruise control permanently. You can also see ride data, battery life, and even lock the scooter. The app lock doesn't necessarily stop people from stealing it, but it does make it non-functional since the scooter can only be linked to one account at a time. So if they do happen to pick this up, throw it in the back of their trunk, and take your scooter while the app lock is engaged, they're basically taking a giant paperweight. More importantly, the app is what allows you to update the firmware on the KS5, which is nice, although I have attempted to update the firmware multiple times and it fails to install. I'm thinking it's an issue with the app itself and not so much the connection or the scooter. Overall, I think the KS5 is an excellent scooter. Whether you plan on picking this up as a toy for the weekends or you're going to incorporate it into your daily commute, I think you're going to be perfectly happy. The biggest problem I've encountered has to do with the bugginess of the app, which I feel could be fixed via a firmware update in the near future. If you're a scooter rider, let me know what you think of the KS5 or the KS5 Pro down in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions, leave them down there and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Or you can reach out to me on social media, which I do respond a little bit faster there. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos just like this and let me know if you want to see more rideable reviews on the channel because they're a lot of fun and I kind of like it. Other than that, I'll see you beautiful people in the next one.